The Variety Telethon is tomorrow, and Sunday for that matter. And every year, Variety chooses one local child to represent all of those who have been positively impacted by the places and resources that Variety supports. And the celebrity child for this year's 64th annual Variety Kids Telethon is 10-year-old Sully Matil. And I had the chance to get to know his family and learn about how his journey, which began with fear and uncertainty, continues today with joy and possibility.
I decided to try something new.
10-year-old Sully Matil loves his Legos. Just look at his room. They're everywhere.
I made 2 different cars, entirely different from each other.
Block by block, it's easy to see Sully's creativity, imagination, and skill.
This part can come right out.
But his journey to get here began with fear.
I don't have a whole lot of memory of their birth.
Claire Sellers lost consciousness during her emergency C-section in 2015 when Sully and his twin sister Mary entered the world early and fragile at just 33 weeks.
It was really scary, and when Sully came out, he was really struggling to breathe.
Sully spent 5 weeks in the NICU at Oshai, now Golisano Children's Hospital, on a breathing machine while staff worked around the clock to keep him strong. It was a whirlwind for Mom Claire and Dad Mike, but they never felt alone.
So I still had a 2-year-old at home while this is all going on. The doctors and nurses were absolutely amazing.
When Sully was healthy enough to go home to his twin and older sister, things seemed mostly normal. But several months later, Claire noticed he wasn't meeting his developmental milestones.
And then to add to the complications, he contracted whooping cough shortly before his first birthday. And that kind of sent him on a downward spiral.
So what ultimately was he diagnosed with?
Steroid-induced adrenal insufficiency from inhaled steroids. It's incredibly rare, but as a result of that, his immune system had turned off. He was barely walking, he was barely eating, he had needed support to sit up. So in February 2021, very frustrated, a doctor suggested, would you be willing to try something? It won't hurt him, but would you be willing to just have him take hydrocortisone 3 times a day? We were willing to try anything, obviously, and we tried it, and within 2 weeks, he was back to being Sully.
But he still needed help, and that's where the Robert Warner Center for Developmental Pediatrics and Rehabilitation comes in. It's not just a medical facility, it's a place where specialists worked together to rebuild Sully's strength and his future.
Emotionally for you as his mom to see him at his lowest of lows, where you didn't know if your baby was going to survive, your little boy, to now seeing him doing everything that other kids his age should be doing. What does that mean to you to be able to have your son back?
It's pretty amazing. He does have autism and ADHD, which, probably explain why we saw some of those little delays in the beginning. But he's in the gifted and talented program in a Buffalo public school. He plays the violin, he plays lacrosse, he's on the school basketball team. He's learning to ski. So with all the help and support, which he still needs and gets. But he went from like this gallon-sized bag of meds to now he takes medicine for asthma.
Give everybody try.
Sitting around the table playing a game of Uno, this is just Sully. But to all of us, he's the poster child of the 64th annual Variety Kids Telethon.
What did it mean to you when Variety reached out and asked if Sully would be this year's celebrity child?
Well, I was like, really, Sully?
Yeah!
At first, it took me a minute to process. I guess I always feel lucky with Sully that we had such good doctors and staff. And I know there's so many families out there that don't.
For those who are watching the telethon, what would you say to those at home who are thinking of maybe donating?
Do it. There are so many kids in this community who have benefited from, whether it starts at the NICU level or the Robert Warner Center, and are flourishing in our community. But they can't get there if we don't have a great children's hospital. Variety doesn't just give to Children's Hospital, that's their primary goal, but they also give to all the programs that help kids like Sully.
from uncertainty to possibility. Sully's story is proof of what care, community, and compassion can do.
These are the kids and these are the adults.
They can build healthier, happier children who could, yes, then build with their Legos.
Go Variety!
So Sully will be there tomorrow and Sunday along with twin sister Mary, older sister Lizzie, and mom Claire and dad also. They'll all be there. And it's kids like Sully. That's why you give to Variety. Again, it's going to Golisano Children's Hospital, the Robert Warner Rehabilitation Center, and so many other local charities, Make-A-Wish and Camp Good Days. And the list goes on of what Variety, where the money that Variety gets goes. And so, yes, telethons are rare. This is the longest running telethon broadcasted locally in the history of television. And we've got it here in Western New York. It works. They raise so much money year after year. And that's all because of you and your generous donations. And Channel 2 is once again proud to partner with Variety to have the telethon on the air tomorrow, again from 6 to 11. So Patrick and Pete and I will be there from 6 to 8:30. And then we've got Mary Ellis and Scott and Claudine and Dan Russell from 8:30 to 11. And hey, you can call in to the number and you can ask to talk to us. If you make a donation, we'll chat with you on the phone a little bit. We'll read your donations on the air. It's controlled chaos during the telethon, but we all have a lot of fun and we are so proud to be part of this special day, right, Patrick?
Absolutely, yeah, it's gonna be fun.